Hey guys, welcome back here to Advanced Bass Fishing, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to watch today's episode. And guys, today we're going to be talking about catching bass on snowy days. I want to really talk about what snow does to fish, how it positions them, the techniques and lures they bite the best, and really why you need to fish in the snow. It's like I can tell you guys right off the bat, a snowy day is one of the best days to catch bass on. A lot of people don't realize that, and I know a lot of you guys are probably in parts of the country you don't get snow, but a lot of us are, even if it's a little bit here and there. Doesn't take very much, man. All it takes is like enough snow just to cover the ground. It's not like you have to have a bunch of snow, but there's something about, and maybe even not that, maybe just snow falling, even if it's not sticking. This is a big deal in bass fishing, so we're going to cover it today in the episode here. Also, guys, a couple quick thank yous before we get started. Thank you very, very much for everybody that's not only hit the subscribe button here to Advanced Bass Fishing, become a Patreon member or a channel member, and especially everybody that's been using my Tackle Warehouse link that I put in every video description. Guys, if there's one thing that you want to do to support Advanced Bass Fishing, if you just go into my description and bookmark and use my Tackle Warehouse link anytime you need to purchase tackle, great way to support the channel. And those type of things are so important right now because YouTube has made it very hard over the past year on YouTube creators. They cut way back on stuff, so really appreciate that. Okay, snowy day bass fishing, man. This is something that a lot of people have never done this. They've never really taken advantage of this for obvious reasons. I mean, a lot of people just don't like to fish when it's cold in general. But what I want to talk about today is what happens and why you should take advantage of any type of snowy day. And again, it doesn't have to be sticking. As long as it's just snowing, it can be those big, those super wet flakes of snow you get sometimes that don't even stick, but it's like heavy coming down. It could be some freezing drizzle. It could be sleet. It could be spitting snow. Any type of freezing precipitation sort of has the same effect on it. Now, a couple different things with this. There are two different phases where this is really a big deal. There's one phase where it's pretty warm out. Let's say, for example, the water temperatures are still in the low 50s and maybe the ground temperature is not real cold, and you get one of those Arctic fronts that come in, like one of the first Arctic fronts of the year, and it snows. Snows like when the water temperature is 50 degrees or something like that. Guys, this is like probably the best scenario for it. There's something about that temperature drop, and I think there's some correlation with the barometric pressure, the amount of humidity in the air, and there's just a mysterious aspect that we really can't define. But when it snows like that, when that water temperature is still a little bit warmer, now usually this is going to be in early fall or maybe late winter when this happens, it activates those big ones. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, how it activates the big fish. And also in the wintertime, if you've got a day in the wintertime where it's cold out, it's been cold, maybe the lake water temperature is still cold, but you happen to get one of those days out there where it's snowing on top of being cold, it has the same effect. Maybe not quite as much as when the water is a little bit warmer, but it still does the same thing. Now, here's what happens when it snows. And here again, this is I've tried to figure out what this is, and I really can't figure it out, why this happens. But when it snows, I don't care if the water clarity that you're fishing is 2 foot or 20 foot clarity, it brings those big fish shallow almost immediately. It's almost like there's a population of those big ones. When they know that something's happening up there, they probably don't know it's snowing, but there's some other factor going on underneath the water we don't really understand. It moves those big fish in 5 foot of water or shallower. And I have never seen anything like it in my life, how that affects fish so quickly. Where are these fish coming from? The only thing that I can figure is when you have a weather pattern coming in that produces snow, there's got to be something that is triggered under the water with the food chain. Because as far as just, how it affects the bass temperature wise, and maybe like, light intensity wise is minor, but there's got to be something that's triggered in the entire food chain that puts those fish shallower. Now, I know it's a low light situation. I mean, when you have snow, it's going to be cloudy, low light situation, but it doesn't have the same effect if it's raining. You can take a day, let's say, for example, like early December, water temperature may be in the low 50s where you're fishing. and you get this Arctic front that comes in, and you have snow. And then in the same situation, maybe it doesn't get real cold and it rains. The big fish will not react the same way. They do not move shallow like they do with the way that snow affects them. And it's just, again, I've got to the point where I don't even try to figure it out. It just is what it is, like so much with fishing. But anyway, this is what happens. It puts the big one shallow. So here's how you need to take advantage of it. Anytime that it's snowing, the first thing that you need to pull out is a spinnerbait. Snow and spinnerbait fishing go hand in hand, and a big spinnerbait. This is one of the big keys with it. When it snows, I don't care if that water temperature is 45 degrees or 55 degrees and you got flakes of snow falling out, you need to put you on a big, like a 3/4 ounce spinnerbait with either like a big number 6 Colorado or a couple big number 6 and 7 willow leaves. Big spinnerbait with a big trailer on it, large profile lure, and just cover water with it. You can get, this is the time where you can just get on bare banks and points, rocky banks, riprap banks, and just slow roll that spinnerbait. Throw that spinnerbait right up to the bank and just slow roll it. Guys, you will get your line stretched in a snowy day with the big spinnerbait. Ideal situation, if I could give you the perfect snowy day situation, give me like about 2 to 3 foot of water visibility, which a lot of lakes have. Air temperatures in the, like the low 30s or around 30 degrees, water temperature around 50 degrees. And if you have that situation, guys, you're going to catch some big fish on a spinnerbait for sure. Now, if the water temperature happens to be a little warmer than 50 degrees, say for example, that water's 54, 55, 56, and it starts snowing, put you on a big buzzbait, because the heavier the snowflakes and the closer that water temperature is to like 55 degrees when that snow falls, it puts the fish even shallower. I'm talking, they're like a foot off the bank. There's been so many situations here in Missouri, guys, where it's been, water temperature has been 53, 54 degrees and it's snowing, and I'll put on a big half-ounce buzzbait with a big blade on it, like that Megabass Jamaican boa, and I'll throw that bait to the bank where it actually hits the rocks on the bank. And as soon as I pull that bait off the water, it had gone a foot or two, and those big ones will get it. They'll get super, super shallow, especially if that water clarity is down around 1.5 foot or 2 foot. Really big deal with that. Other moving baits can work good too, guys. You can catch them on like a wiggle wart or even a square bill crankbait sometimes can work. I have not done as good like on a jig or slow bait. When it's snowing, it seems like you don't have to slow down. It seems like those fish are more aggressive and they're going to chase a lure. So again, your spinner baits, your crankbaits, maybe even a jerk bait can be good. Big swim bait can possibly be good too. But man, it's something you need to take advantage of. If you can pay attention to some weather patterns, and if you can pick and choose the days that you want to fish, here's a couple different things to remember just aside from today's video. The fish are always going to bite better on a south or southwest wind, and especially if you have some type of a falling barometric pressure, which signals some type of frontal system on the way. So if you have some clouds moving in and a pretty strong southerly airflow, like 10 to 20 mile an hour winds out of the south, southwest, or west, that this is the perfect time to go fishing. And it's the same with snow. If you look at your weather forecast and it says, okay, we're going to have snow showers, high of 35 with snow showers on Thursday or something. And, same type of a thing, it's going to be extended all day like that. Just try to get out there and try to go. It's going to really, really open up a completely new world for you. It's sort of like night fishing a little bit. Night fishing is so good. It's so much better than day fishing. There's not even any comparison. It's sort of the same with when it's snowing. So don't ever pass it up, guys. I don't care what month it is, if it's November, December, January, February, March, when it starts snowing, man, especially on the extremes, especially like in November or like March or even early April. Here in Missouri one time, guys, we had 3 foot of snow the first week of April in Missouri. Heaviest snowfall I've ever seen. I can imagine, this was back like in 1973. I can only imagine how those fish were snapping that day. So anyway, I hope it helps you guys out. We'll talk later.